We are back. Sadly, no Katie news from this weekend to get you guys up to date. I know you guys always look forward to the beginning of the episode to see what shenanigans she got into during the weekend. We hung out. We got drunk. One-on-one. We were with a group of people, got drunk. It was a nice Labor Day drunk group of, So it's been a rough Tuesday, I would say, but
it was an entertaining day / evening.
To say the least. Everyone wanted to come on that was in the group that kept asking when we were going to bring them on the pod, and I just don't think
tell Dylan to watch an episode.
Yeah, right, exactly. But all right, before we get started about breaking down the episodes, this is the last week of 2 episodes, which I'm kind of glad. Like I said last week, like this is just so much shit that goes on.
You don't watch enough reality TV.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. You're right. You are correct. You saw me Saturday. I'm gambling on football games all day. Every day.
I was talking about reality TV, and everyone was like, "What goes on? Do you think they cast like people for this reason or that reason?" It's like there's so many.
I have a few thoughts about the show tonight about kind of questions that were being asked over the weekend. But before we get started on the 2 episodes, Victoria P and Connor were seen out in Nashville hanging out. Like actually looked like it was like they were into each other's conversation. It wasn't on like a TV show, so it's not scripted. They don't have to do this. And Victoria P, like, is she down bad?
She must be.
Like
she must be. That I don't know, like that. I have I have no words. I
don't either. Like I texted you that, and like I was just like, I don't even know what to say. Like this is
said
weird. Like
that literally makes me squirm thinking about that, and it does. Like I don't know.
So I think that's all we're going to really talk about. I think that sums up how we both feel. It's just like it's weird. What the fuck, Victoria P? Are you down bad? Like if you need, I'll talk to you, Victoria. If you need someone, like it can't be that bad. Like I know a lot of the dudes on The Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelorette like are way better looking than me, but Connor is one guy that I would put myself against. So
could you imagine Victoria P in a Saturday setting? Because I can't.
No, but like, isn't that like Connor's that weird that it's like, why is she talking to him?
She's that weird.
She has to be, dude. Like, has to be. It's like, honestly, I don't even like talking about it because it just kind of pisses me off that like there's no chance in hell that those two should have any of a shot of talking, dating, anything. And it just irks me that they might be.
Victoria P just wants to keep her name in the press, period.
For sure.
That's exactly what she's doing. She's just stringing him along next.
For sure. So Victoria P, like I said, come on the show and discuss because you have a lot to explain. Jesus Christ. But all right. Episode 6 starts off, obviously it ended last week with Kendall coming down, then coming out.
Yeah.
Kendall then goes, and obviously her and Joe talk, and that's kind of how it starts. My few notes on it were, she sucks, and she's super annoying, and like,
I thought it was so cruel for her to come, like, and just be like, I had to say something to Joe, like, let Joe live his fucking life. Like, she was
there.
When they had the conversation, like the reason we broke up, Joe was like, you literally didn't even try. Like, I wanted you to try to live in Chicago and you literally wouldn't even try. And she's like, you knew that was a deal breaker. Like, meh.
But she also was like, we broke up and there was no fighting in between. We didn't fight for each other. Joe's like, I flew out to LA 3 weeks after.
Yeah. And he said he lived there for like a few months or something like that. Literally. Like,
and then she
couldn't do that for him.
She kept saying, like, it's just so hard to see you here. And, like, you definitely have moved on. And I'm sitting over here upset. It's like, bitch, you're upset because you're on this show. You're not really upset.
No. No, she's just jealous that, Joe got the opportunity. And she probably found out about it reached out to producers and was like, yo, you have to let me back on, like blah blah blah, or vice versa.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I wasn't even, I guess I was like a little nervous when Joe at first, when he talked to Serena after their conversation, he was like,
what was he saying?
I know. I was like, I'm kind of nervous, but then I thought about it more and I was like, eventually he ended up saying like, Kendall's very obviously still in love with me, but I can't say that I'm in love with Kendall. Like, I can't say that.
But he went to that point of very horribly and
he could have
placed
messed
words
everything up with Serena in that moment. He was right there. Like,
yes, and he almost did. And then she like looked at him like, it's almost like you're saying like, you don't really know what's gonna happen. And like, and luckily Serena was just like, okay, because he did say like, I still want to like pursue each other. And she just was like, okay, if anything happens though, I better be the first to know.
Yeah.
So like she could have also just been like an annoying bitch and not handled
Mari.
it like that. Yes.
She could have been Mari.
Exactly. So like she could have handled it really poorly and be like, well, fine, then if someone asks me to go on a date, I'm gonna say yes. And then Joe's in his feelings, and then she's in his feelings, and then the whole thing goes to shit. And then he probably does go to Kendall just because it's a safe space, and then everything's blown up.
It makes me wonder though, like why? Because most people who walk in get a date card, and Kendall and Becca both didn't get one right away. Yeah,
but I can see Becca.
Becca got a rose though.
I can see Becca because, like, when Becca came, there was probably over 5 guys, which are a lot of guys considering how many people are in a serious relationship. There's probably over 5 guys that said like, "Wow, like Becca's here, that changes." Everything. You know, with Kendall
now though, who knows? But
Kendall, I think it's like everyone with hers, like she, like I mean, when she walked in, she didn't even say hi to anyone.
Everyone knew what she was there for immediately. Right. Yeah.
So like, I don't think like she clearly would have picked Joe to go on the date.
Yeah, but would Joe would he have done that the first day? I think he probably would have. Not now. Yeah, like I thought about it. I was like, there's like no way that he goes back to Kendall. Like I get the whole setting and all of that, but there's just like too much there.
Yeah. So everything he said to Kendall was very good. And then when he talked to Serena though, like you said, like it was just weird. It's like, what are you doing? And then he finally like brought it all back in and said what he probably should have said in the first 25 seconds of talking to her. So that happened, obviously. Then moving on. Clearly last week, big storyline was Noah and Abigail. They talked, they kind of worked things out. I wrote down like they both are like super weird people, and honestly, they're probably good for each other because of that. Like they just like are so awkward and weird, and like I don't know. Like they don't push the needle for me.
No, they're honestly they're like the stereotypical like floater couple where they can just kind of mesh together the first day and they just kind of keep going through, they keep giving their rose to each other, but they're most likely not going to end up engaged by the end of it. Sort of
exactly.
Yeah.
They might still be dating though, but like they're not going to be engaged, that's for sure. They're not going to cause any drama. They're probably not going to go for any new people. Like they're just going to be there.
Because they have fun together, like really is what it boils down to. But that's exactly like you say, like we haven't seen either of them like try to do something any more serious than that, besides Abigail having that conversation with Noah and then Noah being like, ooh, but now Noah
did say the thing though, like I thought I was giving way more than I was getting, and it was like, I don't know, I feel like Abigail
relax, Noah. Like Abigail was the one who started that entire hard conversation. If it was the other way around, he would have a leg to stand on, but yeah, it was all Abigail. Like, oh my god.
And I think that is definitely giving. If you're gonna have that conversation, like that's giving, because you're essentially like willing to talk
about feelings.
Right. So that happens, and then Mari and Kenny are kind of the next big thing that happened. Mari is nuts, and later in the show I think Kenny has a very good question where he's like, you know, what scares me is just that when I had the rose,
he said that tonight. we talked about that too.
So we're gonna fast forward, but he says when I had the rose, you're all for me. Then the week you had the rose, that's when you said you wanted to go on a date, and then I have the rose again. Now you're switching back, which is a fair question. I do think Mari was like, you remember when who's the girl with Riley? Is it
Marissa?
Marissa was talking about, but it wasn't about Mari or Kenny. It was about someone. She's like, you see the little shiny thing over here.
Oh yeah, she did it for Tammy. Yes. She said Tammy had Aaron the rusty quarter, and then the shiny penny Thomas walks in, and she's like, rusty quarter worth way more in value, but shiny penny, ooh, and like ran to the shiny penny.
That's kind of like, I think that kind of falls for Mari too, where she was with Kenny, who like in reality they probably get along the best. Kenny definitely likes her, Mari definitely likes him, but then they went through a few times. Mari felt the power with the rose. Mari saw all these other girls.
I think that's when Thomas came in, actually, that she said that. Yeah.
And all these other girls were getting hit on, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, I kind of want to get hit on now. It's nice. I hold the rose. Like, let's do this, let's do that. And then she sees him with another girl, and then she's like, I made a complete mistake, and I need to go back.
Yeah. No, she lost her fucking mind, and she knew that she fucked up with her the way she handled everything too. Like, she knew she fucked up just because now she's begging for him, and it's like, ugh, is Kenny worth begging over? I don't think so.
I'll say this though, my man Kenny, man, he played Bachelor in Paradise as well as you possibly could play.
Now that's Thomas though. Thomas is. He's playing
for sure, but Kenny he started off with Mari, which is who he had his eye on from day one. Then Mari and him, and he goes for Demi, who's like the one shit that like, you want a one night stand? Demi is probably your fucking girl. She's at least Demi or Tammy are probably the two girls who you would go after for a one night stand and have the time of your fucking life. So he goes after Demi. They even do it a few other times. And then he gets the girl that he originally wanted back.
Yeah. Mari is desperate. Mari is in like the same situation where she's like, I don't want to be the next Natasha, and like, now I have a rose.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's how I feel. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it there. But also when Mari was like, I had to go through all of that to know that I was 100% sure or something like that. I was like, so Mari, you had to go through a toxic cycle for you to understand that this is the one. Like,
that when she said that,
are you kidding me? That's so toxic. Like,
that you're not a good person to be in a relationship, Mari.
We should just do couple by couple at this point. So when
honestly, yeah, that's fine.
When Demi was sat down, or Kenny sat Demi down and was like, yeah, so I'm gonna like focus on Mari. And when she was like, I just don't get it because Mari is a mean girl, I was like, Mari is a mean girl. Like, she's a mean girl. And like, I literally just had to deal with a pack of freaking mean girls recently in my life. And I was like, I can't even believe I'm dealing with this at like 25. Like, I can't believe I saw the way that Mari acted on the freaking show. And she's probably 20, almost 25, 24.
She's 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote this down.
Who acts Demi that way?
I wrote this down about Demi. I said, she might be crazy, but she's upfront and she's got honest. A point.
Yeah.
Most of the time she has a point. And last week we did the polls. We did everything. We're like, who's siding on Demi or Mari's? And everyone was on Mari's side. And I don't know.
Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's just because I think Demi, she kind of set herself up as a villain. And like, that's also the way the producers portray her. So like, you know, does she really? I mean, she is that way though. I don't know.
Everything is face value with her. You know what you're getting. Nothing's bullshit. It's never like what. Like,
I respect it. Right? Yeah.
Mari, like you, and also like everyone wants to rip on her and say she's a villain. If Kenny just liked her back like she likes him, they probably go the entire time. Like,
she's loyal.
Right.
Like, Demi is a loyal bitch. There are so many different ways that I relate to Demi because I'm the same way. You know what you're gonna get with me.
Yeah.
And once I ride, I ride. Like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's
period.
like, why? Like, I get she sometimes is a villain, but like, she does not deserve that hate. Like, is she
No,
annoying sometimes? Yes, but like, it's face value.
you know what you're gonna get.
And
Like,
Mara, you don't, and I don't respect
no,
that. I
yeah,
don't
you can't
respect
trust
that.
her. She's
And then,
wishy-washy, or she claims to not be.
so
But
then from there, kind of moves on to Brenden and Natasha. And boy, is Brenden just the definition of a fuck boy. Like,
Brenden is doing what
dude,
Thomas did. Like, does he not? Do they forget that the producers can use whatever footage they get off of the mics? Like, why would you say that mic'd up? Why would you say that mic'd up?
why would you say anything he said? Like, think about when he's saying all this stuff to Natasha, and this is probably gonna be overlapping of episode 6 and 7 when I say all this stuff. But like, for example, the thing when Natasha's talking to Pieper and Brendan's like, yeah, we hung out 2 times, we met a month ago, this, and that. Piper's like, we hung out at least 10 times. I went to, we saw right before he left for this show. What was the other one? It was like, we've known each other for 2.5 months.
Yeah, and I mean, even when her and Brenden talked about it on their date, he was like, I had to go about it this way, and then she got pissed for a little bit there, and it's like, how did he get her to forgive him for lying on their relation? Like, how is she just like okay with that? That's what's so bizarre to me. She is so naive. She is.
You talking about Pieper?
Yes, Pieper. Yes. She's so naive. I literally called this though, Brenden, the freaking actor. Oh my God.
So when you say, that's a good point though. So when they went on their date, like, she asked him all those questions, and obviously she didn't like the answer she was getting back, because he was just basically like, let's play it more slowly than maybe we talked about before the show. Like,
yeah,
let's not just jump into one-on-one. I also think that was like him trying to make his image look better on TV. Like, I think he knew that it was a one-on-one date. He's going to get the spotlight for this. He's got to be like, yo, I came here looking for someone, and then you came, obviously looked better, blah, 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 blah. And then Pieper was like looking like, this is not at all what we talked about.
Yeah, he was being an actor, and she saw right through her shit even then. But it's like, how do you not see through her shit even more? Like,
right.
I don't know.
And then the whole, like, when he's talking to Natasha though, and I think he was just blatantly disrespecting her.
He was so disrespectful. Like, he literally said or insinuated, who else would you have gone for? Who else do you think you could have gotten on the beach? Like, she got you, Brenden. You're one of the objectively hottest, most wanted guy on the beach. She could have went after any other guy not in a freaking relationship, and she would have gotten them. But she connected with him, and he convinced her that they were so thick as thieves and everything. And then Pieper walks down the trail and blows everything up. Like, it's just,
she's good looking, she's cool, she actually handled that situation like as well as you probably could have. Like, she's just like, will you guys tell me the truth, blah, 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 blah. So like, she's probably a cool person to be around. Like, she's a catch.
She has her head on her shoulders. Yeah,
there's a fuck ton of dudes who are sitting there who don't have their head on their shoulders, that are still on the beach, that are looking for someone. And I guarantee if Natasha and them hit it off after night 1, they'd be talking. So like, but when he said that, I was like, bro, like, you are in the wrong. And then when he said the thing about like, you didn't take my, what did he say exactly? He said something like, basically like, oh, I don't know why you would have thought that what we had wasn't just
legit. Basically. Yeah. And then she was like, I have a friendship with Ivan. I wouldn't call this a friendship. Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
And then we're gonna, since we're gonna talk about this though, obviously Chris and Elena or whatever her name is, get shit. Yeah. But dude, Brenden and Pieper just get let free.
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started. So yeah, we need to start talking about this Elena,
Okay,
Jasenia, and Chris.
so we can this kind of all wraps together because Brennan and Piper basically get let go free, not even really shown on the show the rest
No,
of the time. They're
yeah, the
kissing.
guy, nobody ostracized them yet.
No,
Honestly, though, they
no,
kind of ostracized themselves, it
no.
seems like.
But
But
dude, they were talking about clout on the couch together.
yeah,
Did you
all
see? I don't
coming.
know if you
Yeah.
saw this, but like they both lost like 25,000 followers,
Yeah. Yep.
and
I
I
saw
think it's
that.
hilarious.
I saw a TikTok earlier today too, where it was like everyone unfollow
Yeah.
Brenden and
Oh,
Piper,
there's a
like
lot of
get
people
ahead
on
of it.
that. But
Yeah.
so Natasha, she's talking about it, and all these people are just like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what? She just told you what happened, and you know it happened. You know it's true, and you're gonna sit there and be
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, but like, and I think she was talking to Ivan, aren't they him and Brennan and Ivan friends, right?
I probably, yeah.
She said something to him, and she's like, Ivan, like, you know it's true. Like, just admit it. Why would you be here if you're not here for the right reasons? He's like, yeah, well, I don't know. It's like, dude, come on.
See, I don't know that. I don't know how Brenden is so in with these freaking people. He is such a freaking snake. Like
He
for
is.
some reason, people are still they still fuck with him. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like he's a witch. He's literally putting spells on people. I swear to God. Like, he is witchy energy. He's a freaking witch. Like
But I agree. I don't know how these guys are cool with him, but then
it
hate
doesn't make sense.
like Thomas and hate like they skipping ahead, Chris and Aaliyah, like obviously where I think what was fucked up was, they brought the four girls on to the VIP thing, and he blatantly just kind of like disrespected Jasenia, like right in front of her face. He was
Literally
like,
see them making out, Elena and
yeah,
Chris making out.
but then he didn't stop. Like they went and danced and like just kept making out in front of everyone. Like it was like very weird. And
It
then
was
everyone
rude, is what it
very
was.
rude. It was very rude. And then everyone kind of had the whole like, okay, were these people talking before? We don't know. Chris is definitely here for the wrong reasons. And it's like, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, good. Chris should be called out. I said last week when he came on, him and his boy were the biggest douchebags ever. And so he should be called out. But how are we going to sit here and let Brenden and Pieper like be involved in these conversations and not be called out?
That's the biggest thing for me. Like I I tweeted something like Chris didn't give me like straight up like straight white man douchebag energy like up front. He kind of gave me not straight energy.
Yes.
I did not expect him.
Actually, yes, we talked about
Yeah.
this. Like you said, you could have seen him being gay.
Yes. There's something
Yeah.
about maybe it's just the way he talks, and maybe that's like derogatory for me to
The way he
say.
talks,
It's
really
the way he
is.
talks, it's his mannerisms, him trying to make out with Elena. Like literally the producers are trying to show how awkward this man is around women. Like that's why I don't get what anyone sees in Chris either. Like what did Jasenia see in him unless she likes a feminine guy? But I wrote down in my notes, I said, even all the straights see what's wrong with Chris's behavior. Like that's how you know it's bad. Like if men are willing to like go after another guy for some douchebag shit like that, like, but also it almost kind of makes you think like Natasha probably feels like, oh my God, like all these people ride for Jasenia harder than they ride for me because they're going after Chris, like literally like where he's out of here.
I think it's definitely more now. I agree. She definitely is thinking that because it's hard not to because she even at the end of this episode 7, she's like sitting there and she's like, oh, this sounds oddly familiar. Why is no one saying anything? She
kept making comments about it. It's like, huh. Yeah, I know someone who literally just did this yesterday.
Right.
So,
and you guys are all hanging out laughing with them.
Why doesn't he have to go?
This is what I think is Pieper. So majority of the people on the season are kind of Matt's, not majority, but a good amount of girls are Matt's. or girls that have good standing. So Abigail has very good standing with everyone there. So everyone's always team Abigail. Serena, everyone has a very good standing with
And
her
Joe.
too. And Joe, yeah. So then Noah. It seems like a lot of people like Noah. Like those four, like don't really create drama, don't create any of that. So you have those four. So they're all gonna love Pieper regardless. Then you throw in that like Tammy's kind of falling with Serena and them, so she's gonna like them. But Marissa and DeAndre were talking shit, and like they were the only ones, which I agree with. But like I just don't think people hate Brenden in terms of the guys. Like I think they do like
Yeah,
him.
it's bizarre. Like it if it was me in that situation, I would be so mad at that guy. I wouldn't be able to physically be in the same room as him and not be a complete asshole to him. Like honestly, if I after that Natasha, like if those girls rode for Natasha as hard as they rode for Jasenia, like I don't who were the girls at the table anyway when they kicked Chris out? I don't even remember.
The girls you said?
Yeah, what girls were down there with them?
It was Marissa and Jasenia.
So it was Marissa.
It was Marissa, Jasenia, Joe, and Riley. Those were the four people. And you remember how they showed in the preview Riley yelling? I thought for a second, I was like, is it going to be Brenden? Because like you didn't really see, but then I was like, no, it's probably definitely going to be Chris.
Chris,
like,
yeah.
So like that's what it comes down to. And it'll be interesting though, because like we see the preview for the next few weeks. And this is another part of like Demi just being a real ass person. She's like, we need answers from them too. And I think maybe Demi, I don't know, maybe Natasha kept making comments and Demi kind of like woke up being like, you know what? Like you are actually right. Like what the fuck? Like why aren't we going after them too? Like we just sent two people home.
Would be, yeah, I wouldn't, I'm the kind of person too where if I saw something like that happening, I cannot just sit by and let bullshit happen. Like I have to say something. Well, like I literally have to. That's why I'm happy Demi's finally saying something. I wish someone would have said something sooner. You know?
Well, I just think if you're going to say something about one person, you can't say something about in reality, Chris making out in front of Jasenia, yes, worse, but what Pieper and Brenden are doing are way worse.
They've like straight up admitted to everything versus Chris and Elena. It's just like, yeah, they're just mad that someone else that Chris has a better connection with came in, and now they're all like, we all know they had a history and stuff. It's like, but so did Pieper and Brenden. But Brenden had to have convinced the guys enough that what he said was true and that both Pieper and Natasha are just like being dramatic girls or something like that. Like, honestly, that'd be the only thing where it's like bro code or something.
Heard him say when they're like whispering and he was like, she just got so annoying throughout this. Like, do you remember when he said that?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe he was like secretly like, you know, we don't have a connection. I told her like before all this, he was like telling the guys like we don't have a connection. I told her that, and she just keeps coming after me, keep coming at, and so like who knows, maybe that, but like even when they pressed, why the fuck can I think of his name?
Chris.
Holy shit! I was gonna say no. Even when they were pressing Chris, and the guy Riley was like, "Well, if we looked at your DMs, what would they say?" And he was like, you wouldn't see it. They would say nothing. He's like, we hung out one time before, which they both said.
He said they'd be the same as all of the DMs, insinuating that like you know what? It's like, yeah, everyone slides in your DMs, but Chris is actually hitting people back. That's the difference. Like,
very true. Very true. Very true. So that I think that'll be the most interesting thing though, going into next week is when Demi confronts, because I think Demi will have obviously Natasha on her side, but then I think Marissa and Deandra, who those are two bad bitches that I would not want to mess with.
Oh, I'm so nervous that Deandra is not going to get a rose.
So hot.
I know, in her white outfit when all the girls were yelling like, "Who is that, Deandra?" Yes. She's hot.
She's hot as fuck. I agree. I think she is going to get sent home, which I'm like, damn, she's hot. But like those four are definitely going to be like going after it, and then I don't think Abigail will say anything on either side. Then you're gonna have like Serena, obviously, like trying to console, and like blah, 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 blah.
I think Serena would be Team Pieper in weird ways because they're close enough.
I agree.
Which like that can. I was actually talking to Abby about this again, and she was like, I don't know. I kind of can't look at Serena the same after the way she ran up to Pieper. But at the same time, though, the way that I look at it is that Joe went after Serena more so than Serena was going after Joe at the start of it. And then she just like kind of, now she's comfortable in it. Then, you never know what's going to happen at the end of the show or after the show at this point, but like she could pull a Pieper or just like leave him, like she did to Matt, like, actually, you're not the one for me. And then
right. And you never know, like with the previews, it showed more like Kendall getting upset about Joe. She could just be like, this is too much. She's going to walk out
before the rose ceremony tomorrow for sure. She knows she's fucked anyway. She knows she's not going to get a rose. If it was going to come from anyone, it would have been Joe, but that was never going to happen.
Exactly. So moving on, next couple we could talk about. We can talk about the new couple coming in, or a new couple that is maybe forming, two new couples that are maybe forming.
Oh, yeah. Aaron and Chelsea.
Thomas and Becca and Aaron and Chelsea. So Chelsea was obviously one of the four that came in.
Oh my God, when she walked down and everyone was making those tall girl comments, I was like, I've never related more in my fucking life. Like, her legs are 2 miles long. She's really tall. Like, tall girls can be pretty too.
Everyone did say though, they're like, what, like, every girl was like, she is gorgeous, she's a model, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But when they were on the date, Aaron was like, she was like, you have really pretty eyes, and Aaron's like, they're brown. Like, I don't have pretty eyes. Like, what?
I have brown eyes too, though, but I have lighter brown eyes, so like I get what she means, but there's a range.
I know, it was funny though. He
it was so funny,
as if like you're the first person to ever tell me I have beautiful eyes. Like
when Chelsea said, "You look a lot better in person than you do in your pictures online."
Oh yeah.
And then he said, "You're not the first person to tell me that." He's like, online I'm like a soft 6.
yeah. Like, he was kind of funny. I kind of liked him a little more, like, in that little date. And then it was kind of funny because he goes on this date, and he was like one of the people who was saying like, Chelsea is this and that. So it was like, okay, you kind of saw that coming, like they kind of vibed. And then Becca, I think immediately when she got the date card, in my head, I thought Thomas. Like, her best bet is Thomas. Like,
I really wanted to see her go on a date with Aaron, though. Like, I really wanted to see if something was actually there, because we haven't really seen anything of them, honestly at all.
And she said that.
Yeah, I mean, she would have. I know she would have, and I really wanted to see what they would have been like on a date together, just because I feel like we would have seen another side of Aaron too, going out with like a woman that's older than him.
Yes, for sure.
That's the other side of it, but
for sure.
Again, and then it was Thomas he plays the part. Like, he literally just plays the part. And Aaron, when he gets back from his date, and Aaron was like, "Oh, Becca took Thomas," and then Tammy's crying on the beach, and everyone's like, he said, "I don't feel sorry for her."
Dude,
and I was
so much respect for him when he said that.
Yeah, she did it to herself. She did it to herself, and everyone else agrees with him too when he says that, and that's the point. Like,
I know, but everyone, you know how they are on the show. Like, someone breaks up, and then they're like Jasenia, she kind of fucked over Ivan, and in last week's episode, they were talking about someone fucking someone over, and Ivan or Jasenia said, like, that's what you did to me, but look at us, now we're friends. Like, everyone tries to play this middle, like, we're friend ground, all this stuff. Even
friendship
if you fuck
roses,
me over,
they exist.
Like, all that kind of stuff. And Aaron was, even last week when he almost got sent home, was telling everyone, like, no, fuck Tammy, like, I have nothing to say. And then this week, he's like, no, she deserves it. And I'm like, good. He didn't go back on his word. He wasn't trying to, like,
the rusty quarter versus the shiny penny. Oh, exactly. Marissa, that was the best metaphor you could have ever given to that situation. Right. Like, we even said it ourselves too, the new shiny toy. But like, putting the value on it is even better.
But Thomas is clearly going to pick Becca. Because I think Thomas I think Thomas will honestly probably always pick the new.
Also, I think that Thomas, he's already admitted to doing things for clout. If
Right.
he is going to get a former bachelorette, like if he's going to get her attention in that sort of way,
Right.
you give him an inch, he's going to take a damn mile. He's going
For
to take a
sure.
marathon, like
But
literally.
most of these guys, it'll be interesting because like this is a guys' rose to give out right now. So like, how does it play out next week when it's the girls? But I agree with you. Like, I think Thomas in his head when he saw Becca walk in, like you said, former bachelorette, he was
He's
like,
like, ooh,
yes,
opportunity. Yeah, it wasn't anything
yes,
deeper than that, though. That's
right.
why, yeah, I mean, he for real played the part in Katie's season until he actually admitted to everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like, uh, you
But
can't
that's what.
trust him. And
No, you
Aaron says
can't.
it too. He's like,
Yes.
all you idiots keep fucking around with this guy. I literally told you that this is the person he is, and nobody listens to me.
No, no. So we kind of skip forward though, but Becca asked Tammy, can she take
Yeah.
them? What did you think about Tammy's like
Tammy's,
response?
I was actually really impressed. Like that, I did not expect her to handle it that way, but also it's Becca. Like she's a really likable person. Like she is a true
Yeah,
Midwestern girl. Like she is just
yeah.
she's nice.
I think it was a little bit of. I think Tammy actually like for a second you were like, okay, I respect that
She was being an adult there. Like she
because I
literally
get
for the
what,
first time.
but I get what she's saying also, where she's like, I don't want you like. I deep down, I probably know Thomas wants to go on this date, so like I
Who
should
am I to
allow
stop a
him.
connection? Yeah.
And he either is gonna find someone else and like break my heart,
Or
or
choose me.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she kept saying. Like, I don't want you to feel obligated to just come back to me. Like, I want you to actually want to choose me. And then on top of that is like with Becca being a bachelorette, I think Tammy is just like, I don't know how I say no to this. Like, I can't.
And everyone, Becca is like one of those people now, I think, too, on the cast. It's like quickly moving into like as long as she might not be given a rose by anyone else, she'll probably end up getting some sort of friendship rose. Like,
For sure.
like, or
For sure.
I really hope Deandra seems like she's girls with everyone too, though. So she might be another one of those. Like James, I think Ivan might end up giving his rose to Jasenia.
I could see that. But then
Yeah.
she fucked him over before. Like,
Yeah.
James, I could see giving it to Deandra.
James could give it to Deandra. Yeah.
Because I could see him being like a bro and being like, I haven't found anyone yet. Deandra, me and you like have kept it real. Like
Yeah.
they seem like they get along when they're like kind of by each other, but they never show it, which means to me that they're like friends. Like
Now,
they never really
yeah.
show friends, but like you kind of see people always kind of by each other. And that's kind of how James and Deandra are by each other like a good amount. And if they were talking like anything, they would show it. But what makes me believe it's friends is like you don't see
They're
a
just
single
shooting the
conversation.
shit, and
Right.
ABC is like, we don't want to show everyone shooting the shit. It's like, I want to see these people shooting the shit, though.
Right, right. But that's why I think like that's a solid candidate for a friendship rose right there. Um
Just look out for
Ivan,
each other. Yeah.
I was thinking Ivan, maybe Natasha friendship rose.
That's another person I'm worried about is Natasha, because I think honestly Natasha probably will end up just being like, I don't want to be here.
I can
Like,
see that happening too.
yeah, I think she's just going to be like, there's just been too much. I hope maybe someone comes in last
I
second
was
like
shocked that
Becca
she didn't
did,
already
but
do that though. I was kind of shocked she didn't already do that.
she's going to enjoy every last trip of this vacation,
I
period.
would.
Like,
I
I
would
would
like
too. I would too. I would literally wait until the rose ceremony is done and then be like, deuces. Like, I'm soaking
but
it all
so
in.
James and then like Tia's gone. Like she hasn't done shit other than her Kenny.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, we almost forgot Tia was even there.
Yeah. And then like obviously Aaliyah is
So
gone, but like the other two girls that came with Chelsea, like we haven't seen a single thing with them. So
it'll be Joe and Serena.
yeah. Noah
and Abigail.
Serena, Pieper and Brenden.
Oh yeah, Pieper and Brenden. If they don't get axed from the island before, I hope they do.
Marissa and
Riley.
Yeah, she had a panic attack. Like it was like, yo, you might be the strongest relationship. I get what you're saying, but like Riley,
I know she was on her damn hamster wheel, as I like to say.
She had been drunk. Like she had been drunk. Yeah,
she was on, and all those girls talking. Like we talked about that. Like if you're talking with your girls, sometimes
you put it in your head.
They'll put ideas in your head that mess with you. Like, yeah, I can kind of see where she's coming from. I would never spiral to that level though, because she's like, "Why? Who would cry over a guy like this after I met them 5 days ago?" It's like, exactly, girl, you're saying it.
She also said, like, "I'm gonna go home," and I'm like, "What? Like,
I want to go home."
Yeah, it's like, wait, what? You actually are like one of like 4 couples who probably will make it the whole way. So what are you talking about? But so they'll be together, and then you have James with the rose.
So James, Ivan,
Aaron,
Thomas would probably give it to Becca. We think based on what we've seen.
And then I think Thomas gives it to Becca. I think that becomes evident, and that's why Tammy goes on the tantrum. And then once I think Aaron sees that, which Aaron might have before anyways, but when Aaron sees that or senses that, I think it's like a no-brainer. He gives it to Chelsea. And then
I hope he does. I want
Ivan and James are 2 friendship roses because we haven't seen anything from either of them.
So then that leaves Jasenia, Demi. Interesting.
Tammy.
Tammy is someone who could get a friendship rose though too, which is good. Like
I could see James giving it to Natasha, or not Natasha, DeAndre or Demi.
I hope so. See, yeah, that's the thing.
I think Demi, her last straw, which she plays well, but I also think she would play it anyways, is like to stick up for Natasha, hoping that like Ivan or James probably see that and be like, okay, she's a real person.
She deserves to stay. Natasha does, but I honestly, I feel like
she wants to.
No,
I don't think she's gonna put any effort in. I think she's like, I'm getting drunk. I'm enjoying my last night.
Yeah, we could be wrong about that, but I just have this like weird gut feeling that Natasha's about to be like, you know what? I accept my fate. I'm just gonna have a good last night with the homies.
And then you're gonna have Demi shooting for the stars to stay. You'll have it'll depend how Tammy feels after she just starts bawling her eyes out. If she recuperates at all, like she'll definitely go balls to the wall to stay. Or if she's so sad, because it is like very last minute where I don't know if she'll have any time. So she might just accept her fate because it might just be too late. Then you'll have Jasenia. I can see Jasenia getting a friendship rose, but I also could see her just being like, give it to someone else. I don't even care anymore.
I also just have like I have a huge gut feeling about Ivan giving it to Jasenia. I feel like Jasenia's gonna get back in. Yeah, I really think that Jasenia is capable of getting back in there. I know, because I don't want Ivan to like have to do that, but like I don't know.
I like Jasenia actually. Like I do like her, but like what happened? I called. I said he was a douchebag and everything, and Ivan was like nothing but cool and whatnot, and like it's like
nice guys never win.
No, but it's like the nice guy then can't go back and give it to you.
He could, because he's nice. That's the thing. That's the thing. Ivan is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
Ivan is lucky he's even there. He better shoot his freaking shot for his woman again, because he's a nice guy. That's just like on brand for nice guys.
I mean, that's the only chance he has, because looking forward to next week when women give out the rose, or in 2 weeks, I guess, because it's going to be one episode. Like, no one else is going to give him a fucking rose, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know. He deserves better.
Ivan, I know he deserves better, but he is a nice guy, Whitfield. That is what nice guys do.
That's just disappointing.
That's why they don't win.
They deserve to.
They deserve to, but they don't. So like, what are you gonna do? I think he might win. Who knows?
You know, that's true. When I was a fuck boy, I could get multiple women, and then I was a nice guy, and like a girl like went on one date with me and then stopped talking to me. And I was actually being genuine and nice. And then I was like, wait, what? Like, it's nice that I've been to a girl 5 years. And now
it's weird. It's only because if I don't know, at least I know I'm this way. Like if a dude is too nice too quick, I'm like, I mean, I thought we were just gonna
too nice, just being a gentleman. Like being a gentleman on night one does not deserve a ghost after that. Fair?
It depends.
No. Like
depends.
Like, look, if you're that nice or if you're that genuine, unless you're creepy, obviously that, like, some people can be too nice and it comes off creepy. I'm saying just a genuine, you had a good conversation, you went out, like, you could even be friends because he's a nice person.
Maybe she didn't want just a friend.
I mean, I guess not. Like, but that's what's like. That's
I know it doesn't make sense.
Girls like, I want a nice guy, and then you be nice, and then they ghost you, and then it's like, oh,
know what?
But don't be a dick, and then you're a dick, and then it's like they can't stop hitting you up
because toxicity is so fun.
It's not though. Like toxicity is fun for a little bit. I agree. But like in reality, deep down, it's not. It's so exhausting. Like it's like, what do we do? It's so exhausting. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, could you imagine if we just got along and did normal things? How easy this could be?
No,
like,
that's boring.
All the time. Like,
oh, first of all, I just like, I have a will to be like, if I always dish it. So if people can't throw it back, I'm like, this sucks.
Okay, yes. Now that's a good point though. So if you're going on the date, you have to know what the other person is like. So if I like pull up in like some shoes and like you're immediately like, damn, those are some whack ass shoes. Like I would then know that you dish it though. So then it's like, okay, that's how she is. I can be nice.
Yeah, I would be someone that would say something like, geez, those pants are crazy or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But you can still be nice and dish it back to them and make it interesting.
Yeah, but you can't do that and be a nice guy. Nice guys don't do that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can be a gentleman and dish it out. There's this fine line.
Connor dad jokes? Connor was a nice guy too. That's like the best way to dish it back is being a Connor if you're a nice guy.
I don't think because he dished it back oddly half the time.
I don't know.
I think
I plead the fifth on toxicity. It's fun.
You're in fuck girl fall mode right now. So like I can't talk to you seriously about this. You're in fuck girl fall mode. So like any nice dude is a douchebag. And you know it. That's the thing. But not
any nice guy. The genuinely nice guys, there's always just something off about them. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just a stereotype that I'm applying to all straight white men is like, if you're not a douchebag, then like you're not straight enough for me.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is it's just, it makes life complicated because sometimes though, like you're like, all right, I'm gonna just be nice. And then, like I said, you get ghosted. And then other times you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a dick and be a fuck boy because I can be and I don't care. Now, but then it's like, then she keeps talking to you, and it's like you sit there and you're like, you deserve so much better. Like I'm treating you like straight shit.
At least you can sit and admit that now.
I mean, I can admit all of that, but I'm just, it's like, you know, you either do that or you got to go for a girl who like was in a horrendous relationship and then you can be nice and she like doesn't know what to do because you're like, oh, I'm so nice.
No, I
I'm
mean,
not wrong in anything I'm saying right
I
now.
know that's like I have nothing else to say. I'm cracking the fuck up. You're reading us to Phil.
I know. That's what it's
Rude.
like. It's like it's so easy to read, but then it's like it also isn't. But then it's like I don't know, man. It's a confusing world out there. Like
Yeah, I plead the fifth on toxicity.
yeah, your
That's it.
fuck girl falls in full effect.
Period.
Well, all right. So we said everything about this episode. We said who we think can get voted off next week. Next week is Tuesday night, one episode. We'll be back after that. And any last words on the 2 episodes or anything else?
Fuck Girl Fall. Fuck Girl Fall starts this Thursday with the NFL. So
Okay, so she'll be live tweeting the NFL when she's trying to win a fantasy football league. And
I'll
my
try.
last words are Brenden and Pieper deserve to be executed like everyone should be because they should not get off easy.
In the words of Notre Dame's coach, we believe in execution and we believe they should be executed.
I fully will support Brian Kelly's quote about Brenden and Pieper fully. But all right, we'll see everyone next week.
See ya.